Monday night doubleheader. My hair is crazy because that's just too much football on a Monday. I don't care. We're just going to bet both games because I like enjoyment in my life. So first game, which I feel like with these Monday night games, it's always like, hey, there's two games. There's one that's really good and there's one that's terrible. But the one that's terrible might just be two terrible teams playing. So then might turn out to be the good game. But that's likely not the case here. So diving into it, the first game we have is Titans versus Dolphins. Second game that we have is going to be the Seahawks versus the Lions. The Dolphins right now are -2.5 with the total being at 37. The Titans, there's not much there. I was really high on them. I had Will Levis. I bet on them multiple times and I just got burned every single time. But they have to figure it out. They have to figure it out more than I figure out if I should clip this or not clip it. I don't know how audio sounds. The Titans have been really bad, but on the other hand, they have some good receivers. They have Calvin Ridley and they also have DeAndre Hopkins. I know Calvin Ridley's good. There's not a doubt in my head that he's good. Again, gambling man. DeAndre Hopkins is like an adult having a soda. You take a sip of it and you're like, oh yeah, I remember that's pretty good. And then you don't really talk about it. You just do a silent head nod like, oh yeah, how about that? I don't really think he's going to bring that much to the table, but he's going to catch at least 3 balls probably. I'm going to be like, wow, DeAndre Hopkins still got it. The Dolphins team has been downhill ever since Tyreek Hill got arrested. Okay, well, that was a voice crack. It hasn't been downhill since he's been arrested, but pretty much since Tua got injured for his, 800th concussion, they have been downhill. They started Skylar Thompson last week. Didn't go well at all. But now they have a new quarterback, aka Snoop Tyler Huntley, to come in and hopefully save the day for Miami. Now, one thing about him is that he has some of the coolest colors in the NFL he's worn because he used to be Pro Bowler for the Ravens. That purple is pretty cool. But now he's going over to Miami, which I believe is a turquoise tone. So turquoise, purple, those are two really cool colors. So he's probably going to fit well within the system. The Dolphins open up -1.5, got pushed up to 2.5 with 53% of the bets on them with 67% of the money back in the Dolphins. So there is definitely there's definitely bet and money differential there, which I love. Some other fun facts that the Dolphins are 0-3 against the spread this season. They're also 0-3 to the over. So I think this means that we have to back the Dolphins in this spot. There's no way they can go 0-4, right? That can't happen. Definitely not. And there's no way they can't not score any more points again, right? That can't happen. In terms of the Dolphins, I think that Snoop, not to be confused with Snoop Lion, Snoop Tyler Huntley is actually going to come into the offense and just give it a new spark. I think that's all they need. They just need some type of spark where Tua got injured and they kind of just were like, whatever. Skylar Thompson, he wasn't doing anything. I do have a Dolphins fan as a friend, and he said that Skylar Thompson sucks and that I'm going to hate him, which I didn't hate him because I didn't bet him, but I don't think the rest of the fans like him very much. I think it's going to be great that they have the new quarterback in there. Everyone's going to be happy. There's going to be some ball passing. Just a good day all around. On the other end of the ball, Will Levis is going to throw some picks. He's going to make some bonehead plays where if you're going to turn over the ball, it's kind of hard to win a football game. So that's why I'm going to go with Miami -2.5 here. Now for the total, it's at 37. I just think there's going to be a lot more points scored in this game than people are anticipating. I think Snoop's going to come in, toss it to Tyreek Hill, toss it to Waddle. Are they playing? But I think there's just going to be offense there. Or even just like, hey, here's a Will Levis pick in the end zone. Or Will Levis throws it for 100 yards and it comes a touchdown, right? It's kind of a boomer bust play with me. With it only sitting at 38, I think I'm going to go ahead and back in this spot. Because this feels like one of those games that no one cares about. And then you just like look up and there's tons of points scored. Kind of like the Bengals Commanders last week. Game 2 of the doubleheader, we have the Seahawks at the Lions. And now this one's supposed to be the prime darling. And everyone's supposed to love this one. I think that's why they have it on the later slot today. But with that being said, the Lions right now are -4 with the total being at 47. For the Seahawks, they're 3-0. They're rolling along. Now, have they had the best wins? No. But guess what? They're 3-0. You know what I'm not? 3-0. So I can't say anything about that. DK Metcalf is just a monster. I think he had the one catch against Patriots, which honestly might have been like week 2, where he's just like, wow, that's DK Metcalf. Every single time I see him, like, he's so jacked. There's no way, there's a report that came out, there's no way that he just eats coffee and candy until like 8 p.m. That's just not how a human like that operates or just looks. Like, you can't look like that just off candy and coffee. I know, because I'm on the candy and coffee diet. I'm CCing it all the time, and I don't look like him. Maybe I just have to hit puberty, but still then, I don't. I honestly don't think the Lions have been playing to the best of their abilities either. It just seems like the games, they're struggling. They're not just steamrolling teams like they used to. They are having effort, though. Amon-Ra St. Brown gives so much effort. He's like an old, sweaty guy at the YMCA gym who's just like, he's slightly out of shape, but he's hustling so hard that he gets every single rebound, and then he comes to guard you, and you don't really want to play because he's dripping sweat, and he gets on you, and you get a little bit grossed out, so you just let him go and score every single basket, and he's really, really happy about it because it means a lot to him. And you're like, I'd rather not get sweaty and lose. So that's just kind of who Amon-Ra St. Brown is, in my opinion. Very good at football. Diving into the math of this game, Lions opened up -4, then it went to -4.5, then it went to -4, now to -3.5, and now it's back at -4, and then maybe the flirting with -4.5 at some other books. Pretty much just been all Lions play with 68% of the bets and 75% of the money back in the Lions here. So they're definitely a public favorite. I mean, Barstool Sports Advisors, you have Dave Portnoy and Big Cat both on the Lions, which kind of makes me want to bet the Lions because I want to bet with them, but I'm not going to. Oh, I just spoiled it. Yeah, I'm going to be on the Seahawks. Now, the reason being is because of this stat right here. And it really comes down to quarterback play. The Seahawks have allowed a passer rating of 67 this season, which is second best in the NFL. Lions QB have a 79.2 passer rating, which is the 10th worst in the NFL. So there's some dichotomy there of, hey, maybe the Seahawks can pull this out, just because quarterback play is important. Now, do I think Geno Smith is a better quarterback than Jared Goff? No, I do not. But is he 4 points better? I don't really know. Is that the only factor in this game? No. As we just heard, we have DK Metcalf, who just eats candy and coffee. On the other hand, you have Amon-Ra St. Brown, who's basically a little bit of an overweight guy at a YMCA. To recap, the card for Monday Night Football is going to be Miami -2.5, total over 37.5. The two reasons being is just because Miami has a new quarterback. I feel like there's going to be a lot of points scored. I feel like no one's really going to be paying attention to this game, so it's going to make for some good drama when it actually turns out that the game that no one wants to watch is actually good. On the other hand of the ball, I think I want to take the Seahawks here +4.5. It's just everything screaming for the Lions. Everyone wants the Lions. It makes sense for the Lions. I don't want to bet the Seahawks +4.5. It makes no sense. I hate it. So Seahawks +4.5.